Hey guys, this is the second part to the slab vase video. I'm going to be kind of quiet because it's in the morning, and I want to show you how to press these slabs onto some texture. And in this one it's going to be the natural texture, which is that of the tree. So I'm going to set the laptop down, chosen this tree right here. I'm just out in my backyard from the apartment complex. Can't be too loud. Hopefully you can hear me all right. I'm going to take one of these slabs and I'm going to push it onto the bark. And I'm going to take the subsequent slabs, the other two, and I'm going to push them consistently up against the tree as well. Now we left the slabs a little thicker so that we're able to compress into the texture of the tree. If they get too thin and you start pushing them into the tree, then it's hard to construct with them, and then you can push the texture through the clay and it can crack. So I'm going to push the clay onto the texture of the tree, and then I'm going to find areas adjacent to that one area so that the patterns kind of line up whenever I put the three pieces to facet it together. Take my first one. I'm going to choose this side. Tree. It will stick, all right? And you just barely pat it on there to pick up the texture. Okay. Do the other two that are around it. You don't want to paddle it really hard or it will create too much pressure and rip through the clay, okay? You can see the bark texture, okay? Okay. So that bark texture will be the front of the pieces that I will cut out using the template that I showed you in the last video. So let me do the last one here. With this one, I got to remember that I have my base slab as well. But I want to pick the base up and look on the underside and see the bark texture. So I'm going to put some bark texture on here as well, but I'm not going to push as hard. I'm going to make it a little more subtle. Kind of gauge, oh, you can't see it. Kind of gauge where the area for the side of the piece is going to be, and then you can paddle it a little heavier with your hand there, and then where the bottom of it's going to be, don't paddle as much. So I kind of have these two crescent moon patterns. This is going to be the bigger crescent moon, and this is going to be the smaller crescent moon. So the smaller crescent moon isn't going to require as much paddling. And just use your hand with the tree. You don't need to use an actual paddle. So you can see I don't have quite a bit over here whenever it comes to the bottom, so I'm going to go back and add a little more. That should suffice. It's subtle. It's more dynamic over here where the side piece is going to be anyway, the wall of the vase. So it'll be a little more subtle whenever we flip it over and look at the bottom. Okay. So you can do the same with the mechanical. Like for example, I'm going to roll out 3 more slabs with a base. And remember, with one of them, it's going to be like 3.5 pounds so that you have enough for the base slab. And the others can be around 2 3/4 to 3 pounds to roll them out. You're going to leave them a little more than 1/4 of an inch. Then when you push them onto the texture, they'll go from like maybe 3/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch. All right, so you don't want to start too thin because they will thin out whenever you add the pressure and the compression. So I'll put these in my plastic. I'll leave them wrapped up for now, and then the next video will be taking that template and cutting out the shapes and starting to slip and score everything together, okay? And then also, when I use the sewer lid for the next one, because the texture is so deep with the cast iron, I'm not going to push as much, and I'm also going to leave the slabs a little bit thicker. So depending on the texture you use, that's how much clay you need it to be thick, how thick it needs to be. So the deeper the texture, the thicker the clay, the more subtle the texture, around 1/4 of an inch should be fine. So that's it, folks. I got my pieces here. I'm going to put them in the plastic, and we're going to go from there. I'll see you on the next video. Take care.